Hello everyone, this is Hazel Lucia Tarot and I'm Stephanie, and today's reading is about whether or not this connection is working. So these are going to be for people obviously already in either a relationship or a situationship, or even maybe like still at the beginning stages of dating or talking to somebody. But regardless, we have 3 piles here for you today. We have pile 1 with the carnelian heart, pile 2 with the orange calcite heart, and pile 3 with the shungite heart. So take your time to choose and I'll be ready for you whenever you are. Hi there, pile 1. If you chose the carnelian heart, we have your reading to see whether this connection is working or not. So we're going to do the oracles slightly different. We are going to have our connecting cards, and then we're going to have person A and person B, but then the tarot will also be person A and person B, just because we want to get both sides of this connection and to see how each one is doing, and then we can verify, or I guess make a better decision on whether it's working or not. So we're going to start with the card you chose, which is New Moon in Capricorn, Step Up and Lead. We have third party situation. There's a third party interfering with your relationship. This can be a literal rival or people gossiping. Family and friends may try to influence your relationship. I'm already hearing that this is not an actual person trying to come, well, it's not a rival. It's not somebody else coming after your partner. This is the opinions of their friends and family. Mostly friends, I'm hearing. For some of them, it might be family, especially if they are friends with their family, like a sibling or a cousin. And then we have Voyage. So these are the connecting energies. And then for person A, we have Leo. We also have the Mouse and Buttercup, Innocence. And then for person B, we have Square, Semi-Square, Quint, I can never say this word, Tension. And then the Bear and Cedar, Leadership. This is quite interesting. There's a lot about leading here, mostly with person B, because this fell on their side. Actually, maybe that would make more sense just to keep the leadership on this side. But it's funny because Leos are also known for leading rather well. But let's start with the connecting energies, because I was hearing as I brought this card up that it's not a rival. It's more the opinions of other people. And I'm hearing, especially because of the B person, because they are somebody who seems to take control a lot. I feel like somebody's it's multiple. The friends of somebody are trying to tell this person that there's a bit of an imbalance in this connection. And I feel like their friends seem to think that having a connection where and I'm sorry to get into genders. I try to leave this as open, but the example I'm seeing is that it's a bunch of guy friends of this one guy, and they kind of don't like that he is quote quote whipped by his woman, by his girl. It seems that they're not okay with her being so dominant. Again, if this setup matches you, despite you not really fitting into those genders, take it if it resonates. But this is what I'm seeing. It's mostly some guy's friends saying, oh, she shouldn't be talking to you like that. Oh, why does she think she can do this? And it's very, very old ways of thinking, very archaic, a lot of toxic masculinity in there. I don't like to throw that word around, but in this case especially, this person's friends don't like to see their person relinquish power to their partner, if that makes sense. And again, take that if it resonates. You can switch the genders as well, if that applies. But I really feel like somebody's old, outdated thought patterns or opinions are influencing this connection, because I feel like one person in this connection is resonating with that to some extent, not completely, but to some extent. And that's unfortunate, because real people should really just keep their opinions to themselves in some connections, relationships are different to all kinds of people. But back to the connecting energies, I just thought I should bring that up in case that was resonating with anybody. With new moon and Capricorn, step up and lead. There's a lot of Capricorn energy in this connection. Either of you could be Capricorns or both. With new moon and Capricorn, this is when both the sun and the moon are in Capricorn. So this is why I'm getting that there's a good amount of Capricorn in both people. But it could also just mean that around new moon and Capricorn will be an important time for you and your partner, and this will be sometime in I want to say late December, early January, whenever the next new moon in Capricorn is. So around the holidays, something will come up between you two. That it might be a voyage. You might decide to go traveling together, or one of you could have to travel without the other, and this may bring some sort of realization to this connection. Let's start with person A, because person A has Leo energy, if they're not already a Leo. I'm also getting somebody who's very confident or stepping into their confidence, actually, because here we have the mouse and the buttercup. And I get somebody who's very sweet and innocent, somebody who is they may have a bit of an ingenue look to them, or somebody who's, very young, I'm also hearing wise and talented. Somebody who people just seem to adore. But then we also have this Leo energy. I really feel like they're coming into that energy. Somebody who is stepping up into a more dominant way of being. And this may shake up the connection quite a bit. And this doesn't have to be, for the worst. It could be for the better, especially if the other partner has been wanting to see that in their partner. But here, I think the friends that are noting, I really do feel like the friends might be of this bear, and the Leo is the one that they're commenting on, because they don't like seeing certain people come into a sense of empowerment. It doesn't even have to be genders. It could be anything that makes them different. It could be race. It could be people of a certain status or from a certain background. Just whatever that may be. I feel like they don't think that for whatever reason this person deserves it. And it's kind of weird that they would care that much about somebody else's partner, especially unless everybody is friends together and the friends are more so person B's or one person. I feel like that shouldn't really matter. But do note, I just bring this up because I feel like it's influencing one or the other quite a bit, and I think they need to step back and maybe step away from these friends if they have nothing good to say about a connection, unless they sense abuse. But I don't see that here. Well, not yet anyway. I doubt that will be coming up, because I would feel something. I was feeling some very negative energy when I was talking about the friends, though. Yeah, it was odd. But let's move on to person B. We have 54. Wow, I cannot get my numbers out. 54. So somebody may be a life path 9, or they could be born May 4th or the 5th of April. I'm also hearing May the 4th. Somebody could be a Star Wars fan. Or somebody could also be the age 54. With square, semi-square, this is usually just a tension in connection. So between these two individuals, there may be times when they clash, and it could be easy to see why people would say something negative about this, but the clash doesn't necessarily have to be incompatibility. It doesn't mean that, that the connection is unhealthy for whatever reason. It just means that there are certain things where maybe they both like to be in leadership positions. Maybe that's why this lead card was also over here, and the leadership bear is here. They could both like to be the center of attention, so maybe they like to hog the stage quite a bit. And again, that's okay as long as it's with good intentions and a good heart. And I also get the feeling that they kind of have a bit of competition with themselves. Like maybe one wants to out-earn the other, or one wants to have more of an impact on the house than other. Maybe one tries to parent more than the other, like be a bigger parental influence. And again, this doesn't have to be something negative. used to progress everybody, including themselves, it can be a very positive thing, and they could learn from each other and the different ways they go about obtaining the same goal that they want. But I do feel like sometimes the tension can be a bit much, especially for the bear person, B person here, because the bear and cedar with leadership, I'm getting somebody who is a bit traditional, not so much stuck in their ways, but they definitely have a respect and adhere to tradition. They may adhere a little bit more to certain gender roles. And if not gender roles, then the way they were brought up. Like they may decide that they want to have certain things done a certain way. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that as long as they are both in agreement. And I get the feeling that person A likes to do things a bit more differently than person B. As far as the connection, like how old the connection is, I'm getting something between less than 10 years for sure, and less than 5 years as well, because the highest number I see on here is a 5. So between 0 and 5, because we actually have the number 0, or lack of number 0 here. I also get the feeling this is probably a very either a younger couple or a couple that's that are new to each other. Like maybe they just decided to start dating or move in, but there's definitely commitment there already, especially if their friends are already talking about them or their partner as if, you know, they had any, as if their words had any weight to them. And I feel like whatever their age, they're very as a unit, as a couple, these two individuals are very responsible. They definitely have some high goals with Capricorn here, because Capricorn always, you know, is reaching for that mountaintop, whatever their mountaintop may be. It's not always, you know, money, family. It could be any form of success or any form of acknowledgement from people that they like, or from the circles that they like, or that they are in. But I'm getting a connection that is rather healthy in terms of growth and development, but when it comes to outside forces, they may be a little vulnerable, especially if you know, a third party situation is showing up in this reading. Some signs, I already said Capricorn, Leo, somebody may be Year of the Snake as well. Whales always make me think of Taurus for whatever reason. Also a Taurus Pisces combination, so somebody may be a Taurus and or a Pisces, or have any of those signs. The squares make me think of Capricorn being one of the things being squared. We could also have Libra or Aries in this connection. And numbers that are popping up, 5, 4, and also 4 here for the bear, 0. So again, number 5 could be important, number 4, and number 9 as well, because 1 plus 4 reduces to 9 in numerology. So those numbers are clearly very important here. I'm going to take some oracles from the BuzzFeed Oracle deck for each side as well, just to get a bit more information on our individuals. So, because so far all I see is a threat and a potential problem arising in the future. Not necessarily if this connection is working or not. Because honestly, I don't think I'm going to have a yes or no for each pile. It's going to be more, here's what's going on. There may be a clear indication of what is what, and it's up for you to decide. Because in the end, you have will, freedom of will. Pile 1. We have lake, and we also have gadgets. For person B, we have crazy patterns, as well as fortune tellers. If you're person B and you're on this channel, I think this is just calling you out. But let's start with person A's cards. We have lake and gadgets. I feel like person A definitely does a lot of self-reflection, because whenever I see this card in this deck, I look at the reflection of the mountain, and I did mention Capricorn, so maybe person A is the one with a lot more Capricorn energy, but the reflection here makes me think that person A does a lot of work on themselves. They also try to be very aware of their own patterns and of their programs, which is what I get with gadgets, because this reminds me of the programs you download into a phone and how they're lined up in little squares. So I really feel like person A has all the tools necessary to get themselves to where they want to be. They very much are aware of, again, their systems, the programs, whatever that may be. They probably do a lot of shadow work or internal work. Maybe they meditate, maybe they see a therapist, something where they're always working on themselves to better themselves, because they care a lot about how they are being perceived by the world, which is another thing I get with Leo. And also shining, like they prefer to leave the world a better place with their presence, if that makes any sense. They don't want to leave people, they don't want to have people feeling drained or odd around them. I feel like they very much care about this, especially with the innocence here. I just think that they're a very sweet person, and this is something they want to retain. They don't ever want somebody to take this away from them. With person B's oracle cards, they have crazy patterns and fortune tellers. With crazy patterns, I feel like they are somebody who, I don't want to say they're inconsistent, but they definitely don't abide by schedules or rules and regulations. They very much don't care for the normal, the mundane. They don't care for structure. They very much want to do whatever they want to do, and they don't want to have any limitations on that. Which is weird, because when paired with the traditional rules, I feel like these two are at odds with each other. And that could be, again, part of the square. It could be that they have aspects within themselves that square each other. So therefore, there's always a sense of tension between the things they want and the way they are. With fortune teller, I feel like B likes to predict the future. Or they might go to fortune tellers. I feel like the future is of importance to them. They very much care about what they have in their future and what is panning out for them, as well as setting up certain systems in place for their future. At the very least, they are very much concerned with their future. So how do the crazy patterns and this traditional leadership aspect align here? Yeah, it's got to be the square. So if there's anybody with more internal conflict than the other, not saying that person A doesn't have any, I feel like person B lets it get to them a bit more than person A. And it could be that person A does help person B quite a bit with it as well. And maybe this is what drew them to each other, is wanting to be better people, wanting to get ahead in life, and at the same time, one knowing how to better themselves while the other one is very much wanting to, but hasn't yet learned. And therefore, they are learning from each other to straighten themselves out, both as individuals and possibly as a couple. But let's move on to the tarot, because I'm interested to see what tarot has to say about whether this connection is working or not, because so far it feels like it is. As I've mentioned, I feel it's just third parties that need to stop sticking their nose in everything. They need to keep to themselves, quite honestly, because people have to have opinions about everybody, but the truth is they don't know what goes on behind closed doors, or they don't know, or they don't understand why two people came together, because that's honestly nobody's business except the two people that came together. All right, we're going to do this with one connecting card. Well, two once we do the clarifying card. So we have King of Pentacles for the connecting card, and then for person A, we have 3 cards. Okay. We have Justice, Understanding, and Karmic Balance. Page of Swords, Eagerness and Tenacity. And Ace of Wands, Ambition and Willpower. There's a lot of that just fresh new energy with person A. I'm wondering if person A is slightly younger as well, or the least experienced of the two, if they are about the same age, or you know, the age difference is not of importance. For person B, we have Two of Swords, indecision and avoidance. We also have the Fool, optimism and freedom. And we have the Nine of Pentacles, abundance and fortitude. And I love that abundance came up twice here. Well, yeah, abundance came up twice. So I feel like this connection will have a lot of abundance with them if they decide to stay. And then back of the deck energy is interesting. We have Six of Wands, advancement and recognition. So I feel like these two are getting places together is what I'm hearing. They're going to achieve a lot together. If they haven't already, maybe they already do have something that is keeping them together. Perhaps it's a business, perhaps it's a family. And well, let's get some clarifiers. So to clarify the middle card, we have the King of Wands. That's interesting. And again with the snakes. Snakes do shed their skins. So I feel like likewise, this connection may shed its skin quite a few times. So you may see a reinvention of these two people when they're together. Like maybe 1 year or for a while they're this kind of couple and then they become this other kind of couple, if that makes sense. Especially if they decide to start like a family. Like they may have been party people before, but then there's kids, so now they become like the daycare family. Something along those lines. To clarify, I'm only going to get one clarifier for each side. For person A, we have the Hangman. And for person B, we have Six of Wands again. Wow. Yeah, lots to celebrate here. I can't remember if it's the Four or the Six of Wands. I think the Six of Wands is the one where there's something to be celebrated, but it's like something is won. I definitely want to say success, advancement and recognition for sure. But I want to say it's the card of success. So starting with person A, I feel like person A is the one who seems to be balancing out this connection just because of the Justice card. I feel like they're very much aware of the karmic balance in this connection. It's almost like they're aware that they came together for a reason. If anyone's going to point that out, it's going to be person A. And person A, because they've done so much work on themselves, are able to also see the patterns in person B that they are able to really straighten out or to help them with. I don't want to say straighten out because I don't feel like person A is trying to heal person B, but they are definitely trying to help them, whether that's through their influence, like just being their best self, or through telling them specifically the things that are going on with them that they may not be noticing, that person B may not be noticing within themselves. With the Page of Swords, I really feel like it's person A who's always having to bring up certain conversations, specifically the ones that are hard to speak about, because I'm getting, like, even now as I'm saying this, my throat is getting very scratchy, very restricted. So I feel like person A doesn't shy away from hard conversations, whether that's a disagreement they have or whether it's something that has to be brought up, or even like maybe they just notice person B being in a very odd mood, so they make it a point to speak about this. And they do so with eagerness. They don't really say it to cause problems. They say it because they know if you speak about a problem out loud, it's more likely to get resolved in a quicker and healthier way than if we were to bottle it up and never talk about it. With Ace of Wands here, ambition and willpower, I feel like person A brings a lot of inspiration and a breath of fresh air into this connection. Maybe they were both at a stagnant place in their lives whenever they met, and being together has allowed them to move forward a lot in a more concrete way, in a way that is more powerful than if they were just separated or alone. With the Hangman, I feel like person B has actually brought a lot of new perspectives to person A, Like maybe person A was very set in their ways or mind about certain things that they were not familiar with. And then person B came along and taught them a lot of new things. And as a result, they've changed their mind about certain things. Whether that's maybe starting a family, or the way they went about work, or the way they went about handling life. I feel like person B brought a lot of clarity and grounding to person A, because even right now, as I'm tapping into person B's energy while talking about person A, I'm getting a sense of calm. I'm getting a sense of knowing what the purpose in life is, what their purpose in life is, if that makes sense. So I really feel like they've impacted each other very profoundly. With person B, Two of Swords here, indecision and avoidance. I feel like person B was in an energy of not knowing where to go or what to do with their life before they met person A. With the Fool here, I feel like that was something that they didn't even seem to really not care about, but it wasn't weighing heavy on their mind. They very much didn't care where they were going, but they knew that once they got there, they would know what to do. Because the Fool here, optimism and freedom, again, I'm getting, what was that card that they had? The crazy patterns. It seems like they didn't have any formula, any sort of way to go. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just saying this is kind of like they're just going to do whatever they want to do. But it's interesting because the Fool also resonates with the Mouse card, because they're both zeros. They don't have a number. So I think person A had a little bit of that as well. But for them, it was mostly innocence. It could also just have been an experience. As to where person B may have had the experience, but they just didn't care. So they were very much stuck in this Fool energy. Again, not that that's a bad thing. It's a great way about going with life, not really caring what the world brings. But at the same time, I feel like they were looking for, with Nine of Pentacles here, success and abundance. And perhaps they saw that person A also wanted this. And they were very much okay starting this with person A. With the Six of Wands coming up twice, I really feel like they struck gold, and therefore they just feel like, I feel like person B is very proud of person A, because person A does so much to just make the world a better place right here. Also, the healing energy that person A has, whether they're aware of it or not, is very much, it may not be seen and there may not be a lot of concrete evidence of it, but you can tell when person A is in the room that they really shift the energy, or that, and it's not even like they go out of their way to help. They just kind of help without really trying, and therefore their presence is very much valued. Person B keeps trying to distract me back to person A. That's odd. But I feel what person B really needs is a bit of self-confidence, because the Six of Wands can also deal with that. The fact that it's coming up twice, I feel like it's both something they do, but also something they lack, or maybe they just don't gain, how do I put this? They like to brag so much about person A that they forget to brag about themselves sometimes, and they really should. Because person A, I'm not saying they don't brag about person B, but person A is very much on their own journey. And I feel like person B needs a little bit more sense of self, if that makes sense. But let's go on to the connecting cards, because I genuinely believe that this is what they both want. They both want this sense of abundance, responsibility, also a sense of power and control when it comes to the material world, the material life. I feel like they both have money on their minds at all times. They could also both have a lot of earth energy. So Capricorn, as we mentioned in the oracles, Taurus and Virgo as well. But with the King of Wands here, there's also a sense of wanting to do things. I feel like these two are very active people, and you never really find them still. I feel like they're always doing something, especially with the Ace of Wands here. I feel like, well, you could say they both do a lot, because we do have the Six and the Ace of Wands. but I feel like they never really sit still. Their goal, they have, I'm hearing mind on my money and money on my mind. I forget where that's from, but that came through. If I was to talk, I want to talk about balance again, because I feel like that never came through. But something about the balance being slightly off, which is weird because we have Justice and the Sixes here. They're both about balance. We also have 12. We also have... somebody could be a life path 6. Somebody could also be a life path 2. 2 is a number of couples, but could also be codependents. So depending on how this connection is skewed, whether it's more codependent or whether this influences being your own individual while still being in a couple, I feel like that's going to be up to you to determine, pile 1. Because I'm getting both that person B relies a lot on person A, but also that person A, well, I feel like they don't need person B as much, but they both want the same things. It's also interesting that the Fool in this deck is holding two things. I think that's a crystal, and I want to say that's a rose. It reminds me a lot of the Two of Pentacles card, which again is the card of balance. So something about balance is coming through, but I think that will be cleared up in the tea leaves and the floriography deck. So let's move on to our closing cards and determine whether this connection is working or not, now that we've seen how each one is feeling about the other and how they operate. So for the tea leaves, we have, chair filled, someone new is entering your life. Younger woman, dealings or relationship with a younger woman. Mountain road, you are on the road to success. Again, mountains, they've been coming up a lot in this reading. Maybe you both like the mountains or live in the mountains. Sunrise, new creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start. Okay, I got to. Frying pan, trouble and accusations, and ant, work, achievement, success. Where would the frying pan better go? Okay, let's do that. And then we have choreography deck. I'm only going to choose one for this connection. We have good news, Iris, named after the Greek messenger goddess who traveled to Earth by sliding down a rainbow. It's fitting that one of its meanings is good news. So I'm getting the feeling, especially with the road to success, new creative ideas, work achievement, I feel like there's a lot to be gained from this connection. If this is a connection where both of you own a business together or some kind of family, something where you are both involved and equally, there's a lot of success and a lot of good stuff coming your way. So I don't know whether that would affect whether the connection is working, because something tells me this is a little bit separate from your own interpersonal relationship. With someone new is entering your life, I'm hearing either a child or somebody of influence. It could be a younger woman. You could be having a baby girl, or it may be an employee, or I'm also hearing roommate or something that is going to be influencing your connection. It could also be a niece. I'm hearing somebody's niece. Maybe you're looking after a child together, just to get a sense of whether you would be good parents or not. And maybe this is also a test of your connection, of your relationship. If we're trying to bring the trouble and accusations along with this younger woman, somebody could be being influenced by a younger woman and her opinions. If this is one of those friends that we were talking about in the oracles, if we were to flip the genders and maybe there's somebody accusing a younger woman of being bossy or just, bringing this connection out of balance, or it could be a younger woman accusing somebody else of this. So I kind of don't like this card because it pops up a lot, but I'm not exactly sure what it means besides younger woman. It's like, well, how young are we talking? Younger than both of you, that's for sure. So, but that could be, you know, from a baby up to, in my case, it would be up to 20 something, you know. But these are all the cards I have for you, pile one. Again, this connection seems to be working, at least in terms of your own interpersonal growth, and as well as getting to the achievements you want, the success in life that you want, and even the money in life that you want. And also, whatever this good news is, I hope it helps solidify this, the question that is being asked, of course. All I would say is do be aware of the third parties, because I do feel this younger woman could also be a third party, and not a good one with the trouble and accusations here. It would be best if the both of you didn't try to accuse each other of certain things, especially if that certain things being influenced by people outside of this connection, by the third parties. But this is where I leave you, pile one. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this resonated, please let me know. And if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. Bye. Hey there, pile two. If you chose the orange calcite, we're going to be figuring out whether this connection is working or not. So we're going to do this slightly different when it comes to the tarot, and I will show you when we get there. But let's start with the oracles. We're going to start with connecting energies in the center, and the card you chose is New Moon in Scorpio. Go deeper. And already I'm getting 18 plus. Ignore I said that. I'm not doing 18 plus readings on this channel yet anyway. We also have release, which is interesting. Scorpio, at least in the northern hemisphere, is during the fall season, and this card is very much fall vibes. And sorry, reconciliation. This card stands for reconciliation and forgiveness. Someone may feel very sorry for their actions and wants to apologize, or perhaps you are in this situation. It may also be important to forgive in order to move on. And then for person A, we actually got 2 astrology cards for each person, which is the first time I've had that. We have Jupiter with abundance. We also have 4th house, home. So person A might have Jupiter in the 4th house. And then their animal card is the frog and lotus, metamorphosis. My God, this connection is going, well, person A is going through a lot. Let's see person B. We have for person B, Cancer, immerse. So they may be a Cancer or have a lot of Cancer placements. We also have moon, oh, perfect for Cancer, perception. And then we have the turtle and coriander, satisfaction. Wow. Okay, so this is quite interesting. Let's start with the connecting energies, because actually no, let's start with the individuals, because there's a lot to unpack here. So person A, I've already said, could have Jupiter in the 4th house, which I also have, and this just means that you're very lucky in the home. Like if you have a home and a place to nest, this is the place where you manifest the best. You could also just have a really, really nice house, or a really, really nice apartment, a really cozy home. And I do get the sense that you might live with each other. And they might just have a lot of luck in general. I feel like regardless of what goes on, the house is where they allow themselves to be the happiest, if that makes sense. Like these are not going to be people that are happy at work as much, not saying that they can't be, but where they feel where their joy is definitely in their home space, whatever that may be. It could also be a bedroom, it could be like an apartment that they are renting out. Whatever they consider home is where they are the happiest. With the frog and lotus metamorphosis, I feel like person A is going through quite a transformation. And I love the lotus, the sign of the the symbology of the lotus, because this flower grows from absolute garbage and dirt, and it becomes this beautiful blossoming flower on top of the water. And likewise, I feel like person A has had to work through quite a bit. The frog always makes me think of the Frog Prince. So this may be somebody who gets overlooked a lot, but when people look closely, they realize that this person is actually quite amazing. They may be quite, they may like to swim. I hear they also have strong legs, or very muscular legs, or very thick legs. If any of those apply to person A, I don't know why that was coming through. I feel like person B might really be into that. But mostly I'm just getting a very happy person, someone who's very joyful, and somebody who's a bit of a homebody as well for person A. With person B, we have Cancer, so they may be a Cancer, or they may have a lot of Cancer planets in their chart. With the moon, they might have moon in Cancer, but I really just do feel like the Cancerian, nurturing, emotional, almost mothering type energy comes through a lot. They may love animals, and they may have a pet turtle. I really feel like they love turtles to some extent. Also, it's interesting that both the crab and the turtle are animals that have a shell. So I really feel like person B protects themselves a lot from the outside world. Whether this is through, if we're talking about spiritual, energetic wise, they definitely put up their barriers. They definitely put up their fences. They don't want people to come into their space, into their auric field, or even into their home if they don't like them. But I get that the Cancer person is actually, they're just more protective than anything. Usually when I get Cancer, I get somebody who's very sweet and loving. I'm actually getting that more from person A than person B, because here I get somebody who wants to defend what they have. And in this case, I do feel like it's going to be their connection with person A. With satisfaction, I feel like they're just looking for their happily ever after, and they kind of have to kiss this frog, or they have already kissed this frog if it's a reconciliation, and realize that they found a diamond in the rough. I really feel like they adore person B, especially the way this frog is looking over, or sorry, this turtle is looking over here, and they're trying, well, yeah, I guess they are trying their best to keep this connection as something that doesn't need to be let go. But let's go into the connecting energies, because with New Moon and Scorpio here, go deeper. I really feel like they have made such a profound impact on each other. It's almost like they had no choice but to transform when they came together. I am getting people who at one point were committed. I don't know if they still are, or if like maybe they might be in separation right now, but they're headed towards a reconciliation, or perhaps just something happened and they are no longer together. With release here, I'm getting that they either released each other, or certain energies in this connection had to be released. I feel like one or the other, possibly both, had to let go of certain expectations. They had to let go of certain things that were really holding this connection back from its full potential. I really do feel that at some point they either separated, or they may even be heading toward a separation. I really hope that's not the case, or at the very least it's not, a complete separation. Because with the reconciliation card here, I really feel like you both understand that you have messed up in your own ways. Like maybe there was too much pressure on this connection. Maybe you got too much into each other's personal space, especially because they both seem like two very intense people. I feel like person A values their home space so much, and if they allowed the Cancer person to come in, I feel like they were not okay with it, or they were disrespecting the way their home was being run. But at the same time, it's like they didn't realize that they were allowing somebody else into their house so that they could live with them. Likewise, person B, while they care so much about their own boundaries from everybody else, they may not have been so aware of their boundaries with person A. And I feel like there was a bit of a misunderstanding more than anything, but the lash out was so deep, because when Scorpio gets whatever Scorpio feels, they feel very intensely, and Cancer likewise. So I really feel like that water energy came through and they just felt it to their core, and unfortunately it made them have to step away from each other. But with the moon here and Jupiter, I really feel like there's such a sense of love and joy when they are together. There are such deep emotions here. It's a very emotional connection. And it may be quite mysterious as well, especially with Scorpio. I feel like nobody else seems to understand them, and that's okay because they understand each other. I'm getting, if I was to describe this connection in a nutshell, I'm letting the story play out. It's almost like they can look at each other and without saying anything, they get each other. They might be a very quiet couple, or they themselves may be very quiet by themselves. More so the B person than the A person. But it's just very water sign, very emotional, very deep, very profound, and almost like there's an aspect of it that isn't meant to be understood by anybody but these individuals. And it's quite lovely, or at least I like it, because I appreciate that water energy when it comes to romance. That's what really adds the mystery and the love, and you know, in that moody, emotional kind of way that just makes you feel very, very lovely. But I also feel like because they're so intense, when these energies came together, they were not allowing the toxicity that can be accumulated within a connection like this. Sometimes they didn't allow for the release of that. I feel like every now and then they have to come apart and just let the anger, frustrations, instead of having them directed at each other or sharing them in a way, just to each person let them go, if that makes sense. But I really feel, especially if they are apart and they come back together, that there's a lot that is meant to be felt in this connection, experienced, if you will. Just some numbers that are popping up: 23, 42, 4, and 19, and 31. So somebody could be the ages of 32, 42, 31, or 19. Hopefully there's no 4-year-olds here, though somebody could have a 4-year-old. Also 6. Somebody could be a life path 4 or 6. 6 is coming up twice, actually. A life path 9. 4 is coming up twice here, actually. So I feel like person A might be a 6 and person B might be a 4. I'm also going to get some BuzzFeed Oracle cards for each person. I'm only going to get 1 for each person. Yeah, 1. Just 1. Because I don't want to run out of space. I don't like overlapping my cards. I like people to be able to see all of them. So in case they want to zoom in and, you know, read something, they can. Because sometimes I'll do that. I'll look at the videos and zoom in on a card, be like, what is that? Because if you see something in these cards that I'm not picking up, but it resonates with you, clearly that's meant as a message for you, a visual message for you. And even though I'm overlooking it, you're picking up on it because your intuition is working in this connection as well. I really feel like this pile has some of my more intuitive people for some reason, just because of all the water energy, such lovely energy. So for pile 1, or sorry, person A, we have grasslands. And for person B, we have, okay, you've got 3 cards, whatever. You get 3 cards, person B. Otter. Oh, this is so cute. I love otters. Scratch and sniff stickers. And cliff. Okay, so person B could be a bit melodramatic, okay? I love you, person B. I really do. But with Otter, I'm getting, of course, that they honestly believe they are pair bonded and soulmates. And that it's lovely energy. It really is. With the scratch and sniff stickers, I feel like a sense of smell is very important to person B. They may have, I forget what it's called, it's like clairvoyance, but instead of the voyance part being the visual part, it's sniffing, where they can smell things in the future or smell things, and it comes from their intuition. Does that make sense? Like they may start smelling chocolate chip cookies, but there are no bakeries or ovens in sight. So later that day, they happen to be gifted a chocolate chip cookie. Something like that. They have an intuitive sense of smell. And then with the cliff, I feel like when they separated, if they did separate, they came to a point where they just felt like, quote, quote, falling off a cliff or driving off a cliff. But the truth is, like, we know what they mean. Like, they just thought they would not be able to recover from this. My poor person B, Cancer person. Oh, you're just so sweet. I feel like you're just a bit dramatic. With person A in the grasslands here, again, I'm getting that sense of needing to release. I'm actually vibing the same thing with here, where there's just this open space and nothing but greenery, nothing but, in this case, the heart chakra space. I really feel like they understood that they had to cleanse each other before they came back together, because there was something that was between them, and just between the two of them. It wasn't an outside source. It was something that was created while they were both together that wasn't allowing them to breathe, essentially. But I do feel like person B would be they both are very willing to change for each other and to apologize and to get back together and move on. But I feel like this will also be slightly cyclical. Like, it may be a recurring theme, but as long as you both get better at handling this whenever it comes up, maybe learning to be your own people, as well as, you know, coming together, maybe learning to release some of these emotions, whether that's by going out for a walk or doing your own thing. Maybe somebody goes to the gym while somebody does, I don't know, some kind of therapeutic thing. I feel like it could be very beneficial to the both of you. So the tarot part is going to be slightly different. We are going to have connecting energies as well as person A energies and person B. And this is the way I used to do it back when I started doing relationship spreads, because I didn't use oracles. I just used tarot. So let's start with the connecting energy for my beautiful pile 2. We have Queen of Swords. This is lovely. I am going to, unfortunately, censor some of this. I don't know if I'm being overly precautious, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Self-reliant and perceptive. I feel like this is an energy you both need to embody a little bit more, just to balance out all the water in, or all the emotional energy between you two. For person A, we have 3 cards. We have 2 of Cups, respect and balance. We also have Judgment and Revelation and awakening. And we also have King of Wands, leadership and success. For person B, another 3 cards. We have 6 of Cups. Oh, this is beautiful. Serenity and healing. We also have 5 of Wands, frustration and opposition. And 4 of Wands, prosperity and harmony. And we're going to have some clarifiers, just 1 for each section. So for person A, we have a 4 of Swords with the cute little lamb there. Person B, oh, okay, 10 of Pentacles. And for the connecting energy, we have 6 of Pentacles. I'm actually going to start with person B because, oh, interesting. Back of the deck energy is King of Pentacles. I'll just leave that there. Okay. But I'm going to start with person B because I feel like person B is not just emotional, but I feel like they are also very expressive about their emotions, more so than person A anyway. And I feel like at some times, person B can feel like they are not heard, is what I'm getting. Especially with the 5 of Wands, the frustration and opposition. I feel like they're always constantly fighting, if not with somebody else and with themselves, about how they feel. But the truth is they have found somebody over here with person A that does reciprocate a lot of this emotional energy. With the 6 of Cups, this always gives me like a playful, childlike wonder kind of feeling. And I really feel like the reciprocity is there. But also the healing. It's very interesting that healing came up here. I feel like person B is going to learn a lot, especially by being with person A, about the boundaries, emotional boundaries, as well as personal boundaries with a person. I'm wondering if, for some of you, this won't resonate with everybody, whether this is like a first time relationship or like the first committed relationship. I feel like this has a very much new relationship energy. So I don't know how long you've been together, but it feels like, at least for person B, that this may be like one of their first connections of this magnitude, whether it is an actual first relationship or a first one that is being taken seriously, or maybe like even the first one where the two have moved in. Something of importance is here for person B, and I feel like they're learning more. Well, they're both learning, but I feel like they think they are the inexperienced one, when the truth is they're both new to this. With the Four of Wands here, prosperity and harmony, I feel like for once they are able to really let themselves be themselves around somebody else. With interestingly enough, in some decks, the Four of Wands can also be taken as like a proposal or a marriage, mostly a celebration. But in this case, I feel like they're just celebrating the fact that they have somebody like person A in their life. And with the Ten of Pentacles, I always get a sense of stability, which doesn't seem like a very romantic thing, but the truth is, when you're looking to settle down with somebody, when you're looking for somebody as a life partner, you want that 10 of Pentacles stability, which is not just money, but it could also literally be the opportunity to build a family with somebody. It could be a home, it could be a house, it could be a very prosperous and fruitful future, is what I'm hearing. So they definitely see this for themselves in this connection, as well as with person A. Now, person A is quite interesting. I feel like they don't show it anywhere near as much as person B, but they definitely have a lot of love in this connection, both respect and balance, which is very appropriate here. I feel like these are the two things that they really wish to express in this connection, or that they would like more of. I'm not saying that there's any lack of respect, but definitely the balance, definitely the being able to be their own individual person. With Judgment card, Revelation, and Awakening, I feel like it may have been person A who decided to call this off, but at the same time, I feel like they were I feel like they felt like this card, like they were sending knives to a poor little lamb, because person B didn't mean anything by being so, upfront and in their face with their emotions, or even overstepping their boundaries every now and then. I feel like they just didn't know or didn't realize how to handle this connection, or how to at least handle person A. With the King of Wands energy here, I'm wondering if person A is a Sagittarius. I'm getting that quite a bit, especially with the Jupiter that was in the oracles, but it could also be Leo, it could also be Aries. But person A is definitely very used to being independent. They're used to doing their own thing. It says leadership and success here. I definitely feel like they're used to being the leader, at the very least in their own life. But the success here, not so much. And oddly enough, I feel like person B is the key to their success. Something that person B teaches them, or that person B brings out in them, is going to be a key to their success. Not saying that they can't live without person B, but at the same time, it's like they learn so much through person B. Maybe they learn to be a bit more lenient, or have their defenses down quite a bit, enough to allow prosperity to come through. But with Four of Swords here, I really do feel like they needed a break from this connection, because usually the Four of Swords is a rest, but like I take it to mean physical rest or mental rest, and in this case it's the rest of the rest of this connection, just to see if that being further apart was better or worse. In fact, it might be person A who clicked on this video. It could be either person, but this is such an appropriate video for somebody who decided that this connection needed a break, because they wanted to see whether it was working or not. And well, let's go to connecting energies with the Queen of Swords here. Self-reliant and perceptive. I really do feel like they each still need to retain their individuality if this connection is going to work. With the Six of Pentacles here, this is again 6, the number of balance. All these numbers except for 5, I think, are numbers of balance, because they're all even numbers. 2, 6, 6, 4, 4, and only 5 is out here. And even Judgment, number 20, and 10. So yeah, I feel like balance is the key in this connection if it is going to work. And with the Six of Pentacles, it's a give and take. Usually in this case it means money, but for this reading, it's the give and take of space, individuality, and of course respecting maybe even their physical boundaries, especially if somebody likes to get in somebody else's space quite a bit. But with the Father of Pentacles here, the King of Pentacles, I really do feel like there is so much stability and so much nurturing, satisfaction, a sense of love, really. There really is a lot of love, but they have to get some priorities straight first. Like maybe allowing each person their space, or being able to be their own people without what's the word, encroaching on each other's boundaries. Again, I feel like this connection is very new for one person or the other, or at the very least this type of connection is new. And again, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing's going to start, be smooth right off the bat. I would question it if it was, but I really feel like they could grow so much from this. There just needs to be a bit more clarity in this connection about what can and can be done, what can and can't happen, or what can or cannot be said. I feel like words are especially a big thing in this connection, or the way somebody says something, whether that's through how they say it or the tone that they say it in. But overall, I feel like despite the intensity, it's a very lovely connection. But let's move on to our closing tea leaves, as well as the florography card that we're choosing today. So we're going to choose just one florography card because I don't want it to get too muddled. I feel like I have too many cards to begin with. But for my lovely pile 2, we have, baby's breath? No. Gypsophila, lasting love. Oh my god. It is baby's breath. I was right. Baby's breath has long been a favorite of brides as it symbolizes everlasting love, innocence, modesty, and purity of heart. It also asks us to be present in the moment and breathe, the perfect remedy for any wedding day nerves. And any nerves in general. But, this is such a beautiful card to have. But I didn't know that's what it was called. Gypsophila. I kind of like baby's breath a little better, even though that also sounds weird. And then some tea leaves for my beautiful pile 2. We have purse, pay attention to your finances. Shark, take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. This is interesting. It's two cards about material wealth. Wall, misunderstanding. Yeah, I definitely feel like there was a misunderstanding in this connection because there's a lot of love in it. Perhaps the misunderstanding and the boundaries was money, especially if like one person gave the other a credit card, either to share or for emergencies, or somebody was spending on something that they weren't supposed to be spending on. The boundary may have been finances. Not unsuccessful plans. Well, family wishes come true. I'm gonna get a few more. How many more? 2? Okay. Ear, good news. And tiger, doing something risky, taking a chance. Okay, so I'm getting the feeling that your finances are going to be something of importance in this connection. Either that or that was the reason that the boundaries had to be reset or that you had to come apart. It could also be family wealth, especially because family wishes come true are coming here. So I'm not sure if maybe somebody came into somebody's life from a family that is much more well off than the other, and perhaps the socioeconomic background is of some concern. You know what I'm getting? I actually learned about this the other day, and it might apply to you, but I've always heard, well, not always, I just recently heard that people from wealthy backgrounds like to ask people to pay them back for certain things, and it's not because they actually need the money, it's just like a habit that they're used to saying, and that's it's kind of a thing. So I feel like one or the other may have been asking for money back when the truth is it was like, let's say they went grocery shopping and they paid for everything and they asked for that money back. But the truth is like those groceries were for the both of them. or even dinner. Let's say they went out to dinner. Again, it was for the both of them. So it's easy to misunderstand a socioeconomic difference between the people, especially if like maybe one person works and the other one doesn't, or if or maybe they both work at the same thing and they have the exact same job and make the same amount of money, but for whatever reason one person believes they are owed money when that's not the case at all. So I feel like that could be a misunderstanding. With unsuccessful plans, I just feel like this is the break, which is weird because all the indications for a healthy and loving connection are here, as well as the everlasting love card and the good news. I just feel like as soon as everything is cleared, whether it's financially, emotionally, or even just how the two live, things could be rather prosperous in this connection. But again, you do have the freedom of will because it's up to you what you decide. I am just, a little tarot reader on YouTube trying to make some clarity of what's going on with you, pile 2. Somebody could be Year of the Tiger. I'm also hearing Tiger Mom, especially because of this family card. So take that if it resonates. I'm also hearing Baby Shark. That song's easy to get stuck in your head. I am sorry if I got it stuck in your head again, pile 2. But this is where I leave you. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If any of this resonated, please let me know. And if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose this beautiful, I can't remember if I said shungite or black tourmaline. I'm pretty sure it's a shungite heart. Then we have your reading to see whether this connection is working or not. We're going to start with oracles to get a sense of each person as well as the connection. So let's start with the card you chose. Full moon in Pisces, forgive. This is beautiful. Somebody might have a moon in Pisces, or the full moon in Pisces could be important. Actually, I'm currently filming this under Virgo. I can't remember if it's already passed or not. I want to say it has. But regardless, the full moon in Pisces could be of importance to you. But let's get the rest of your oracles. We have opportunity. And we also have patience. Letting go of desperation is important now. Love will not pass you by and everything is in divine timing. This card also indicates a time of non-action and stillness in a relationship. It's very interesting. But let's get some cards for person A. They got 6th house, sustainability. And the antelope and wheat, nourishment. Interesting, because these two actually go together. I want to say the 6th house is also the house of nourishment. It's diet, fitness, and anything that keeps you going, as well as work and just the daily things, anything Virgo related also. And then person B got 2 star codes, astro cards. They got, Virgo, digest, and progressions, journey. This is interesting. I don't typically look at progress charts in astrology, but I feel like in this case, maybe you do if you are into astrology, or it might be of importance to this person. And then their animal card is the elk and ash, strength. So I'm actually going to get the BuzzFeed Oracle cards first. These are life shuffling because I decided on them last minute. And because they're so small, I don't want to lose them in my piles. So for person A, we're getting 2 cards. We have mixtapes. We also have dial-up. And then for person B, who is also getting 2, we have lake. And, money green. Okay, so let's start with person A, our 6th house antelope person. So they may have a lot of planets in the 6th house, or their 6th house may be very prominent. Either way, I really do feel like their work life and their diet and their health is of importance. Anything that sustains them, essentially. I feel like they might have some Virgo energy as well, even though B the B person also has that, but they might actually be a Virgo, as to where person A might just have that Virgo-esque energy, if that makes sense. With the antelope and wheat nourishment, I feel like person A is focusing very much on what is on living their daily life and or improving their station, like improving their health, improving their diet, improving the way they work, possibly even trying to make more money. With mixtapes and dial-up here, I feel like they either work in music or something to do with the internet. They may have like I'm hearing a music streaming channel, or maybe just the music that they use is of importance to their everyday life. With dial-up as well, I feel like they are somebody who likes to connect to source a lot if they are a very spiritual person. And I don't know, especially because of these chakras here, I really do feel like person A is rather spiritual, but also very much into a minimalist kind of thing going, because they don't have as much going on here. I feel like they like to streamline everything. They are very simple. Well, not simple, that doesn't sound nice, but you know, very clean, very neat. Like everything, they love simplicity. They like that minimalist look that was a big thing. I feel like it still somehow is to some people, but regardless, let's move on to person B, who's rather interesting. So they might have a lot of Virgo placements. They might be a Virgo themselves. With progression, I feel like they care a lot more about how they are developing or the kind of person they are now. I feel like they also like to track how they have come along. But unlike person A, who seems to simplify everything, person B cares more about the journey. With elk and ash here, strength, I do feel like they care more about being a better, stronger I'm hearing that song, a harder, better, faster, stronger. Maybe they both bonded over Daft Punk somehow. But they do care about being better, stronger, and faster. And just, I feel like they may have met in a workplace or through networking somehow. Maybe online as well, because I feel like they have very similar energies. I'm not gonna lie. I'm having a bit of trouble deciphering who's who even now. And maybe they also noticed this, so they were very much drawn to each other. With Lake, in this deck, I always see this as a card of self-reflection. So I feel like person B not only makes it a point to track how far they've come along with the progressions card, but also to take a look at themselves and see how they can improve, how they can be better, how, you know, where their strengths and weaknesses are. That is such a Virgo thing to do, to like critique yourself and see where you need to improve. With money green, I do feel like person B is also working on their money, but they might actually be making quite a bit more, because even if you can see in this Virgo card, this is the harvest. It's reaping what you sow. It's, you know, harvesting the fruits of your labor. But interestingly, we also have wheat in this card. There's a lot of mirroring here in each other. I really do feel like they might be twin flames. There's a little bit of twin flame connection here. But it's nothing hyper intense, and it's nothing, because I'm getting it's very subtle energy, and I feel it very much in the heart. And lots of, I don't know, there's just something very calming about this. Definitely very patient, and it's interesting that we have these connecting cards. By the way, my other candle, I don't know if you noticed it, but my other candle actually went out while I was doing my other two readings. So you get a new candle, and you get a white one, which I feel fits this aesthetic that this spread is going for here, with all the white in the cards. But let's start with patience. I feel like these two are not entirely together. I do feel like these people either have just met each other or are just now starting to see each other as a romantic potential. They could be dating. They could be, I'm hearing, this isn't going to resonate for everybody, but like colleagues to lovers or enemies to lovers kind of situation. Like, they're definitely taking this very slow. I feel like they're both very much working on their own thing. That doesn't mean that they don't have any sense of attraction towards each other. With opportunity here, I really feel like timing was of the essence in this connection, especially because I have a lot of clock imagery coming up both in this. I know this is supposed to be the houses in astrology, but it looks like a clock from this angle. And also progressions, which has to do with timing. And here we actually have a clock. But opportunity, oh, and patience. But the opportunity here, I feel they sensed a moment of opportunity where they could actually come together, whether that was for a date or to communicate somehow. Maybe they realized they were both available at some point and decided to say something. Because letting go of desperation is important now. I feel like for both of these people, for both of these individuals, romance is not at the top of their mind. It is not at the forefront of what they currently are seeking. However, they are interested in each other. With full moon in Pisces and forgive, I'm not exactly sure what we're forgiving here. Maybe we'll learn more in the tarot. Because I'm not getting a sense of... unless they were enemies to lovers, I feel like there will be a sense of forgiveness there, because then we have to forgive everything. Like, oh, I was just acting this way because I actually had a crush on you. Because some people do that. They tend to be a little mean towards the person they like. I guess to keep them at a distance. I'm not saying that, you know, verbal abuse is a good way to go about romancing somebody, but you know, playful banter, maybe some, I don't know, just trying to keep somebody at a distance because they either have somebody or they cannot focus on a connection right now. And maybe this is the forgiving that we have to do in this connection for whomever it may be. I'm not, again, the energies are very similar, but I do feel like person B has a lot more going on their plate than person A. And with this opportunity card, I really want to see what this opportunity is. I feel like they were both waiting for each other because, again, we're seeing the mirroring in this image. I know this is the Pisces image. It's always two fish that are mirroring each other. And likewise, I feel like they have been mirroring each other in some aspects as well, both person A and person B. Because even the animal cards they got, they are both horned animals. So I know the elk is bigger than the antelope. I'm pretty sure they are. But it's very eerily similar. I'm wondering if they both have the same side. You know what? They might both be Virgo. Because when the moon is full in Pisces, then it's got to be under Virgo. So maybe we have two Virgos here. Or two Pisces. Or whatever sign you are, you might be mirroring it. I feel like communication is also very important for the both of you. I feel like a lot of your communication might be online with this dial-up card. So whether that's through texting, whether that's through WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, or even some kind of weird app that isn't meant for messaging, I feel like you communicate that way. Like I had a old relationship where we would communicate through Instagram, through the Instagram messages, even though that wasn't like a conventional way to communicate. That was our thing. So I'm getting something similar for this couple, for this connection. You might communicate in an odd way, but I'm going to focus on certain differences just so we don't get these two energies jumbled up. Person A is definitely much more spiritual than person B, and person B is much more financially abundant and progressed. Not so much in their life, but I want to say like in their okay, maybe it is life. Maybe they are the older one. They could also be more advanced in their career, or have more experience in this. If they have the same field of work, then this could be the more experienced one. Like if they work at the same job, person B will have had more years under their belt than person A. Okay, time to point out numbers. We have 44, so somebody could be a life path 44 or life path 8 or 4. We also have 6, and of course the 6th house as well, and 56, so 6 could be of importance. That could be a life path 6. With 5 and 6, that reduces down to 11 and then 2, so that could also be a life path 2. Somebody could also be 56 or 44, of course. Let's see, this is a 14, right? That's not an L. Okay, it might be an L. I'm gonna say it's a 14. 14 and 8 as well. And again, 8 is coming up here as well. That's another way that they mirror each other, because 4 plus 4 is 8, and then we have 8 here. Again, the mirroring is rather interesting because I feel like the other piles, there were very distinct differences. Like there were similarities, but then there were also differences. And here I'm quite interested to see how this is going to pan out, because like I said, I don't feel like this is a solid connection yet. I feel like they are still in the early stages of either flirting, talking, or dating, or maybe even just like an interest has been acknowledged. But regardless, let's move on to the tarot. We're using the Accurate AF Tarot today, and it is such a lovely deck. We're going to have connecting energies with the tarot, and also person A and person B, which is an old way I used to do these kinds of love readings when I did only tarot cards. So connecting energy, we have justice, understanding, and karmic balance. And then person A, 3 cards. We have the Queen of Swords. We also have, okay, 10 of Cups and 2 of Wands. And 1 more card? Okay. We also have Metamorphosis, which in this deck is death, profound change, and self-awareness. And 4 cards for my beautiful person B in my pile 3. We have Page of Wands, and let's do this. I'm being over precautious because there's a bit of nudity in these cards. Page of Pentacles, productivity and endurance. Inspiration and potential for the Page of Wands. Right, person B. Page of, wait, didn't I just say Page of Wands? Oh, sorry, this is the Knight of Wands. This is the Page of Wands, right? No, Dawns are pages and spirits are knights. Okay, clearly I'm still figuring these out, but both Wands, Page, and Knight are on this B side. So something tells me B has a bit more fire energy than A. And 10 of Wands, responsibility and challenges. And then we're going to get 3 clarifying cards for each section of this tarot. Now let me make sure that these cards are in alignment on the camera. All right, so to clarify the Justice card, we have a Page of Wands. It's interesting that it comes up twice. Spirit of Wands and Daughter of Wands are both Pages of Wands. To clarify person A, we have, oh, Death again, okay. So definitely very scorpionic energy with my beautiful person A. They might be a Scorpio. And then for person B, we have Page of Pentacles. Because there are so many pages here, I definitely feel like they're still very new to each other. So I'm wondering if either person clicked on this video to check, like to not do the work and just see whether this person was was worthy of their time. Which unfortunately I'm here to tell you, if it's that new, I feel like you might have to figure this out on your own. But regardless, if that isn't the case, let's dive into this. Let's start with person A because they got the Death card twice. So super Scorpio vibes. Scorpio vibes. But with the Queen of Swords, I really feel like person A is just so smart and so strong. Very self-reliant and very perspective. I already said before that they are very much connected to spirit, but more so because they're not afraid of restarting over. I feel like they've had to go through many metamorphoses and that word sounded weird, and transformations in their life. With the Two of Wands, achievement, independence, I feel like their independence is of much importance to them. If this is a new connection, I think they're going to make it very clear to person B that their independence is of utmost importance. I feel like they're going to make it very clear from the beginning and set that boundary, because if they need time alone to literally go through profound changes, self-awareness, and this death energy, that transformation that comes along with death, because death isn't the end of something, though it can be the end of things that you need to let go of. They're going to need a lot of that space for them to do so. And with the 10 of Cups, I really do feel like person A by themselves is very happy. So in order for them to, like, they were complete by themselves, but they decided, because they do have an interest in person B, and because they see the similarities within themselves, that they would give them a chance. But especially if this is the beginning stages, they're making it very clear that they don't need anybody, but they would like to have somebody. And I feel like this is something, especially with justice here, understanding and karmic balance. They may have had previous relationships where this was not respected at all, or where they're still maybe developing certain things from their previous connections. Maybe they're still transforming due to the things that they have learned in their previous connection, or they could still be healing from a lot of it. But at the same time, they understand that they are still in a space where they can proceed with a connection should they decide to do so. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time getting my words out, just because I'm getting a lot of information for person A. I really do feel like they're very connected to spirit, and they probably speak a lot with their spirit guides and angels. They meditate a lot, and it's quite lovely. They might come on very strong, and I feel like person B is actually very quite into this, because they don't know exactly what it is about person A that draws them to them so much, but they know that it's amazing. They definitely see this death card energy. They see the metamorphosis as the accurate AF card, deck says. I'm gonna pause for a moment so I can get a big drink of water. Oh my god. But yeah, person B, I really feel like when they first meet person A, they might be a little bit overwhelmed with what person A has to say, because I feel like even though they are very similar, they still come from very different spiritual backgrounds. That's for sure. I feel like person B, let's move on to them already, because they have so much wands energy and this page of, and a lot of page energy as well. There's a page of pentacles and page of wands here. They might be a lot more practical. Oh, and sorry, knight energy, but page of wands, page of pentacles. Oh gosh, they came up twice. I didn't even notice that. It's rather interesting. I feel like they're very much set in the ways that they, or at least they were set in their ways. Person B is very much a practical person. They very much live in the 3D, because whenever I see pentacles and wands together, it's just somebody who lives in, the terrestrial world. They see things, they believe very much in the things they can see. I'm not saying that they don't believe in other things, but they're very much practical people. I don't want to say simple, but they were very much drawn to person A's energy and how they were able to reinvent themselves every so often. Because it's funny, I did mention that person B was somebody who was further along in whatever it is they do, whether that's life, career, or whatever it is that they are embarking on themselves. It could even be relationships. Maybe person B has more experience with relationships, but I feel like they've never encountered anybody like person A before. So with the Knight of Pentacles, they might be into Lord of the Rings. This reminds me of the Eye of Sauron, if that's what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel I'm getting big Capricorn energy from them now, because to me Lord of the Rings is Capricorn. Also any earth sign, but mostly Capricorn, because J.R.R. Tolkien was a Capricorn himself. And it shows. I really do feel like they're very practical. They believe in magic, but only like that earth-like magic. I really feel like they're a very grounding person, and maybe person A really liked that about them, especially because when I was channeling person A's energy, it just kept coming through. Like I would not stop talking. And likewise, I feel whenever they do go on dates, it's person A who's doing most of the talking, and person B is just sitting there entranced by, you know, the beauty of them. But the rainbows are both here. That's interesting. So I really do feel like person B is just so entranced and captivated by person A. The fact that I can't keep looking away from this pile really says a lot. Again, it might be that same energy. Maybe they just enjoy it. Maybe they enjoy the what's it called? The mental stimulation that person A gives them, because person B, even the way I'm talking, is a lot more calmer now. And I feel like they also speak very calmly. I feel like they also choose their words very wisely. But the fact that they have both Knights of Pentacles and Wands here, they are very much somebody who aspires to do something. They are still very much in their Knight energy, meaning they haven't quite reached Queen and King status, but they are very much working towards something with a lot of energy, with a lot of fire behind them, as well as their eye on the bag. They very much care about their finances. They very much care about their money. And I feel like this page energy is something they kind of don't want to let go of, because they think that that's where their drive comes from. But the truth is, once they step into that queen energy, where they learn to nurture what they have, they'll thrive. Because the Ten of Wands here, I'm getting a sense that they are actually holding on to a lot more burdens than they need to. It says responsibility and challenges, but I feel like it can weigh a bit on them. And I feel like it's these responsibilities and challenges that somehow lead them to person A. I really do feel like they've networked together, or that they work in the same, if not for the same company, in the same space. I feel like they would have met each other at work somehow. So, with Justice and the Page of Wands here, twice, I should say, I really do feel like they are kind of giving this connection a chance, if just for a few dates, just to see if it gets off. I really do feel like, even though they admire each other very much, person A loves the stability of person B, and person B just loves the magic of person A. I feel like they are very much stepping into this very very lightly, and with a very open mind and very open heart. With Justice here, understanding and karmic balance, I really do feel like they're both very fair people. They both are very understanding. And again, it's that mirroring within each other. The scales are very much balanced here. I really do feel like they've met each other's match, but it's still too new to gauge this. And I think it's still very much too new for them to even understand. I definitely do feel like person A is much more intense than person B, and that may be a point of contention, whether person B is able to handle person A. Not because person A is too much, but because they carry a weight to them that is not handled by everybody. It's not possible to be handled by everybody, if that makes any sense. It takes a very special person to understand. It takes a very special person to understand person A. And person B may be just a little too quote simple for person A, but just a little bit too much. But I still feel like it could also be an opposites attract kind of situation. Even though on the outside I feel like they're similar, their work situation might be similar. Maybe at work they are similar people, but when it comes to their inner selves, I'm also hearing that person B might be younger, which is interesting because of all the pages and knights. And person A has a queen, so there might be a bit of an age gap. Or person B, I don't want to say they have less experience in relationships, though that could be true. I'm not quite sure here, but there is the only imbalance I'm seeing is both spiritual and likely in maybe maturity. Maturity makes sense as well. Person B could be less mature. But let's look at some numbers that are coming up. 2, 10 twice, just 2 and 10. So the number 10 could be of importance. Oh, and 13, of course, for the death card. 11 as well. Somebody could have been born October 11th or November 10th. Also October 2nd or February 10th. 2013 and 2012 are coming through for some reason. Also 2011. If this is a time when, I doubt this is when they met, and I doubt this is when they were born either. That would make them too young. But maybe those years are important to these people individually. But let's move on to tea leaves and the floriography cards, because even the way that these cards are laid out, there's just a lot of balance to this. I feel like they would balance each other out. So far this connection seems very promising, because I know it's still new. It's interesting. If you chose this pile and your connection isn't new, let me know, because I find it hard to believe that this would be a long-lasting or a connection that's been around for a while. And if it is, it's probably one where it just, I don't know, I feel like maybe you keep that first spark alive somehow. I'm not sure, but I don't get the feeling that this is a connection that's been around for too long. And that may be different for everybody. For some people, 1 or 2 years is not very long, and for some people, that's, long enough. But let's get a floriography card for my beautiful pile 3. We have Orange Blossom, Chastity. The meaning of this delicate white flower continues to be linked to marriage and can be used to say everything from "Will you marry me?" to "I will love you forever." So I'm getting a feeling that even though they're not very open to, even though this is a very new connection, I doubt they will be dating around a lot. Like, they might try to feel this one out more just to see if it goes anywhere at first, especially because the A person doesn't want to be messed around with, and the person B person is very fair with all the pentacles and the wands. I feel like they're not going to be much of a player, or at least not somebody that dates around too much. They'd rather focus on one person at a time. With tea leaves, how many? Okay, we got 1 firecracker, excitement. Oh, I definitely see excitement in this, just because when 2 very different people come together, it's hard not to find excitement somehow. Not unsuccessful plans. Bell, announcement. Dog far away, a distant friend is thinking of you. Cup, you should accept valid criticism. I got this in an earlier reading. I can't remember if it was this one or a different one, but I'm gonna tell the same meaning here because it's actually similar. I take this to mean going out on cafe dates. So I feel like these two do that quite often, regardless of whether they drink coffee or not. It could be bubble tea, it could be, I don't know, maybe just actual alcoholic drinks, whatever suits the mood. All right, and let's get one more. Pin, new job, career. One more? Okay. February. I did bring up February earlier. So I feel like there will be more clarity on this connection closer to February if it's a month that is near. Because right now, when I'm filming this, it's September. So if, I don't know, if they can wait that long, I feel like February will be of importance. With the not unsuccessful plans, I feel like there might be times, especially because we did get the patience card at the beginning, where you cannot be there for each other or you cannot see each other. So there may be a little bit of actual separation due to, I'm really thinking a new job or career, also a promotion or a change in, like, I'm hearing a route. Maybe they change where they work, even though they still work on the same thing. With Bell, announcement, I really feel like this announcement will be the new job and career, as well as a distant friend could provide some kind of useful information. In fact, it could they could provide some valid criticism about this connection and what to expect from it. But so far, if I was to get an overall feeling of this connection, it's too new, but it feels like it has a lot of potential. So is this connection working? Again, that's up to you. It's up to you to decide, and to at least give it till February, if that month is near, to decide whether that's good or not. Especially because if you celebrate things like Christmas and Thanksgiving in the US, the holidays can be a time where just everything is just so busy that nobody has time for anything, including relationships. I've noticed that people tend to stay together more through the holidays to wait out the chaos of the holidays to see whether the connection is worthy of moving forward or not. But at the same time, I don't think they'll be introducing each other to each other's family quite yet. Maybe friends, but I don't think family, because that's not coming up. Even though this card did say, will you marry me and I will love you forever, I really take this more to mean fidelity and loyalty, as well as, you know, chastity, as it says back there. And oranges are, they're a fruit that comes up around Christmas a lot as well, or the holiday season, depending on where you're at. Let me know if you live somewhere where you may not celebrate Christmas, but oranges are still like a thing during the winter holidays, because I've always known that to be a thing. But regardless, this is all I have for you, Pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If any of this resonated, please let me know, and I will see you in the next reading. Oh, and if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!